Washington's new mascot, Major Tuddy, needs to get off my lawn. The NFL franchise, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, now the Commanders, unveiled its new mascot this week, Major Tuddy. And yes, he is a pig. Now, I'm a longtime football fan, so I get the homage to the Hogs offensive line unit of the 1980s, but there are several problems. First, that pig does not do justice to one of the greatest O-lines in history. For a local Pop Warner team, Major Tuddy would be welcomed at the trough. But if you want to strike fear in the rest of the NFC East, we need to see something like Bebop and Rocksteady from the Ninja Turtles. But even the most ferocious of the Hogs wouldn't do justice now that you've settled on the name Commanders. Do you really think you're good enough at football to have your team name and your mascot be completely unrelated? Who do y'all think y'all are? Alabama? No. Has this organization learned nothing from the last naming controversy? An oversized pig representing the politicians of Washington, D.C.? Talk about cultural appropriation. I mean, if the idea was to always involve a hog, you could have saved us a lot of time and just tweaked the name to the Washington Pigskins. At least then we could have had a proper laugh. But I guess these are the same creative masterminds that made Sean Taylor's statue a hollow man. You're not forgiven. Dan Snyder promised he would never change the team name of the Redskins. But once he caved on that issue, all that has followed is a dozen investigations, a half dozen lawsuits, a $10 million fine, and more team names than winning seasons. As a sports show host, I love Snyder's weekly segment of Hold My Beer, I Can Top That. But as a football fan, I hate this circus of a situation. I hate it for the coaches, the players, the staff members, and most of all, the fans. And I do hope for the sake of this once great franchise that this is rock bottom so they can start heading in the right direction. And until that's the case, stay off my lawn, Tuddy.
Yeah, Dave.
Great stuff, Dave. I don't understand this mascot. I don't. Okay, the hogs thing, pigs thing, hog mollies, whatever I get. But can we put another picture of the mascot up here, though? Jeez. Can we just put a picture of him so everybody can see? If you're on audio, you got to see this thing. Like you said, whoever the creative team at the Washington Commander Redskins, Indian
They're
Braves,
the Redskins.
Whoever it is, this is just, it's not good. I feel like I'm walking into a Piggly Wiggly on Veterans Day.
Now can you show Bebop from the Ninja Turtles? That warthog of a thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's who that is.
Yeah,
Look
there
at
you
that.
go.
Now that's the type of hog right there. If we're going to be picking a mascot, that's the type of hog who's...
If I'm going to play somebody, I'm much more worried about Bebop from the Ninja Turtles
Bebop
than I am
Rocksteady?
about Porky Pig that the Commanders just put on
it's
there.
almost just as offensive. I mean, you put a pig in a military costume and you give him the right as a major. I mean, let's be honest.
That's another problem, the rank here. Commanders, we're talking about major here.
Yeah.
Another thing, worst yet, the offensive line unit. Bring up the Hogs offensive line picture again. This unit, they copyrighted basically the Hogs name from when they played, and they're now litigating possibly a lawsuit against the Commanders for the Hogs mascot.
Good, I hope they win. Good, I hope they win.
It's getting weirder and weirder and wild.
I hope they win. Everything that Washington, D.C. touches is a disaster. It's a disaster.
It has to be rock bottom, right?
It's a disaster.
Or is it just going to keep...
I feel like if you went and sold ice cream in the middle of Washington, D.C., something would go wrong. Something go wrong.
A $50 donation, appreciate it. He says, our family has been Redskins fan for generations. Thank you for calling them the Redskins. That's exactly what they are. It just seems wrong to be a fan of anyone else, but how much change do we have to experience? Imagine rooting for Auburn/Michigan, the non-binary rainbows. What would y'all do with that? #TrustTree.
Well, again, I said this when we talk about the Atlanta Braves. Why is this looked at as a bad thing? Well, why is being a mascot looked at as a bad thing? I mean, I would love if they were the Washington Jake Cranes.
Yeah.
I would love, you've had Native American, tribes, the tribal councilors come out and say, we don't mind this. What it is a lot of it is just white people freaking out to make themselves seem, what do they call it, inclusive or whatever. Those are the people who are really mad at it. It's really just white people. You don't have a bunch of Native Americans running around freaking out about this. I mean, we're going to talk about, the pig
we're going to get to that
they got, which is absolutely awful. But look, again, good for you for rooting for your team. Like at the end of the day, is it the biggest deal of all time what the mascot is? No, but the fake outrage is laughable at best, in my opinion. You know, change your name to if they were the Washington White Boys, I would not care. I would not see that as they could look like the Beastie Boys as a mascot. I don't know, but I don't see how that's offensive. Like I really don't. You don't hear people saying, "Oh man, well the Minutemen at UMass, that's so offensive. That's so offensive to the Minutemen."
And the logo created, I think it was 1971, was created by the Blackfeet tribe.
It's just
now,
an
the
absolute
term Redskins from the beginning. There's still back and forth on whether or not the guy who created that, he was close with Jim Thorpe, who was a Native American, whether or not it was like tongue in cheek or just trying to like capitalize on, Native imagery at the time or something. But at least the logo that has become synonymous with the Redskins was created by that Blackfeet tribe.
Well, here's my thing. Like people get as mad about the term Redskins as they do about Indians or Braves. Like it's all, oh, well, you're referring to a minority group, so it must be bad. So then it must be bad. We're trained to think that way now. We're trained to look at race the first chance we get. We're trained to think negative things about if you look a certain way, you are automatically oppressed or this is automatically against you. And that just, it's a part of society that hopefully as we evolve as a species, we get out of. Because it's really just ignorance is what it is. It's ignorance dressed up with a PhD wrapped around it.
I saw something the other day. I don't know the exact specifics, but I think it was the New York Public School Board or something like that mandated that every New York public school in the state, if they had a name or a mascot that had to do with Native imagery, that they had to be done with that by the end of the year. So just, a week ago. And I saw this in like November or December. And I said, I tweeted, in future news, the New York Public School Board demands that there be representation for natives within mascots and school names.
Yeah, no,
that's what it's going to be.
We're heading toward where everything just gets referred to as a number. Like you don't go to George Washington High School. You go to school 742593. That's what you go for. I'm telling you.
That's offensive to numbers. How dare you?
Let's
go to, what did Malcolm said something funny on here. He said, as a black man, I'm offended by teams having blackout games.
I know, it's ridiculous. I'm pissed about it too. Hey YouTube, what's up? Make sure you subscribe, share this video as well, hit that like button, and turn on that bell for notifications. Because if you do, your team's gonna win the championship this year.